Okay, I believe I am now recording with you. So we can begin. Hello, everybody. This was the first hand, and it's a nice sort of auction if you haven't seen this sort of thing before. But after the double, West starts with a general game force asking partner to describe his hand further, and each choice was to say he had a heart stop. And then when he bids for spades, obviously he had the values to bid for spades anyway. Why didn't he bid for spades straight away? It's a mild slam try. And Iso read it and jumped to six. I should tell you, by the way, that almost all of these are real hands that I have watched people normally misplay, sad to say, or misdefend. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I made a record of them. And when I get to eight, I can actually put them all together into a unit for the Dare competition. So people reached six spades by this means, and the natural lead, of course, is the King of Hearts. So we've got five spades. Well, looks at five clubs for 10 and two aces. So it should be a walk in the park for 12. Is there any purpose in ducking? I can't see it myself. And indeed, it's possible that the seven of hearts is an exit card, achieving some sort of throw in, maybe. Anyway, I see no great virtue in ducking, and maybe I can't see any virtue in winning either, but I am going to win. And South shows an odd number, and I follow suit. Okay, so my only worry, of course, is that spades aren't breaking. Well, that's not a trouble. I've got a large number of spades. Sorry, top spades, ace, king, queen, and the jack. So that's not a problem. But there's a mild problem in the club suit that it's just possible they are not breaking. But the important thing is, of course, to draw the trumps. Then I can run the club suit. Any problems with the well, you need to look ahead a bit here. There could be a problem in the club suit. And if so, you need additional entries to dummy. And since they've robbed you of your natural heart entry, you should try drawing the trumps with two trumps from the West hand to be flexible in what you do next. And good news has come your way. The trumps are breaking. You can draw the trumps now, but if so, you are reliant on a 3-2 club break, or an unlikely four clubs with North, which is not all that good a chance. However, there's something sensible that you can do, which is to find out if clubs are breaking. If they're not, and the person who's only got a singleton club roughs the club, well, you were probably going down anyway. Not absolutely clear. If South has a singleton club and three spades, but that would mean he's got an awfully large number of diamonds. So it's kind of odds against. Your best chance here is to play across, lead a club, and win the ace or the queen, and test to see whether the clubs are breaking. If they are breaking, we can just draw the trumps and finish running the clubs. And you get your bonus when North discards. So he only started, as you might expect, with a limited number of spades, because after all, he did have a weak two heart bid. And he did have apparently a singleton club. So I have left myself with an entry in the spade suit, and therefore the ability to set the club suit up by roughing it out. Doesn't really matter what I rough with. I think North is definitely out of. Now I can cross over. Excellent. And I think you're probably going to play that one, right? Okay, and so I work for this club trick. I deserve it. Something could throw that. We get rid of our loser here, and now I don't think there is really much of a chance for an overcheck because even if I manage to drop the singleton king in the north hand, and how's that possible? He had a singleton club and two spades. He must have lots of diamonds. And in fact, I can count him. He started with 4 diamonds, didn't he, to go with his 6 hearts and his 3 black cards. So so if he started with 4, South had 3. Really, I'm going to lose one way or another. I am going to lose a diamond trick, and here it goes. I lose it straight away, but no problem. I have the last 2 diamond tricks, so I'm going to claim those because they're mine, the ace of diamonds and the jack of diamonds. And so all it was being a little bit careful about the fact that the clubs may not break and leaving myself an entry with the king of spades in case they don't, and then testing them before I draw that last trump. You can see that if I'd drawn all the trumps and then started to play the clubs, South will always have a club winner. And of course, they always have a diamond winner as well. So it was just a matter of being careful, checking that the clubs were indeed coming in. And there we go. Most players won't notice they're being zoomed. Right, okay. Everybody happy with that hand then? Just 12 tricks on top, just make sure they're actually there. And in fact, one of them wasn't there. So, but to be honest, even if I could have thrown away another diamond, I would still have had to take the diamond finesse to. I think you still get advice from Sanya here. Right, okay. So, okay, well, I am going to refind my, if North has 3 spades, anything, that's right. If he had he would probably rough and take you off, but you were always going to go down on that holding anyway. I say there is a holding, I think, where South has a singleton club and still has the last spade, but given that North has 6 hearts, it's like South has to have 8 diamonds or something ridiculous. So it's not very likely that one. Okay, thank you, Jack. And let's see if I can find my account. Yep. And we've just done board 1. So let's take a look at board number 2. So export that to the table. Okay, so 1 spade. Spade. 3 clubs, maybe. And 4 spades. I guess I would bid 3 clubs. I must say, my experience when it's the auction has begun and there's been a reply is I have to be incredibly strong for it to be our hand. And looking at this hand over here, I have a possible club loser. The ace of hearts is quite likely over the king, missing the king and the jack of diamonds. So I don't bid 3 clubs with a lot of hope, and indeed this hand proved true to form where the opponents bid on to 4 spades. And you have to ask yourself, have you helped the opponents by telling them where all the points lie? There's always a concern. You've actually when you make an overcall, that you're actually assisting them to make the contract. Anyway, here we are in 4 spades on an everyday sequence, and the natural lead is the ace or the king of clubs. I play king for count, and I only lead the ace when it's on its own or when I have ace king small. Having experimented over many years, I've found that count is more, the king asks for count and the ace asks for attitude for me. And I found that asking for attitude tends to be the right thing when I'm short, like a 3-card suit, and otherwise count tends to be more useful. So pass. Oh, but it's South to lead. So I assume South goes and leads a club because partner did them. And let's get rid of that over there. Okay, so he will win with the king. I thought North was on lead. Sorry, I've been discussing what to lead. Okay, so North wins and the queen drops, which is only sensible if that was a singleton. And East did just bid for spades. Well, I don't know. It's slightly risky to switch to hearts. It's fine if partner's got enough cards to beat the 10, and my 9 will drop. So you know, partner needs either the queen and the jack or the queen and the 8 of hearts to switch to hearts. The safe lead is, of course, just go and switch to spades. You can't continue clubs because you're going to set up the jack in dummy, and you see the king of diamonds, so you certainly don't want to go and lead a diamond. So the sort of marking time bid, I can't see anything more sensible, is this. And we're going to win that as East-West. And obviously we're going to set up the heart suit. But before you do that, of course, you should at least draw one more round of trumps, maybe two. You might need the but certainly it doesn't cost to play one more round of trumps. And in fact, everybody follows, so that's really good. And now, well, I'm just going to play ace and another heart. So is the 7 a winner? I don't know. I think I've seen situations where the 7 is a crucial card, so I'll probably play the 4. I would normally give count here, and then the 2. And now we come to a crucial moment in the defense, because North can see that if he ducks this, almost certainly we're going to get a second round of hearts. Let me just show you. If you go and duck this, almost certainly East is going to continue playing another heart, and North is going to find himself thrown in to either lead a diamond and set up the king of diamonds, or to lead a club. And I don't think the player will get this wrong. After all, North bid 3 clubs, so he will either ruff the ace and take the jack of clubs later, or he will, if you lead the low one, just run it round to the jack straight away. So you should be able to see, if you reach this stage, not everybody did, but if you reach this stage, keeping the king of hearts should be fatal to that. Keeping the king of hearts should be fatal to the defense, because it's going to end up with a throw in, and I'm going to be forced to give away a trick. So before I was saying, well, it'll be fine if I lead the king, if partner's good. Now I need partner to have very good hearts. So I've got to throw that away just to avoid being thrown in. So if another heart comes along, again, South as well, I don't know, the 10's in dummy is fairly obvious for this. So that, whereas being thrown in with the 9 of hearts is gone. And now the right person is on lead, the person who will not be giving away a trick by the lead. And, well, a bit unclear, really. I think South should play safe here. I see no reason to break the diamonds, because obviously I'm going to win a couple of heart tricks. So Declarer will be able to set up maybe 1 heart trick, but no more. So he's hardly going to be able to throw away all his diamonds and avoid a diamond loser if he has one. So I see no reason to make the play of a diamond, and it wouldn't have cost if I do, but it seems more natural to continue here. I don't know. Play the jack? No. So of course now I have to win that. So now I try to rough my hearts out. Are they breaking for me? And the answer is no, they're not breaking. And so East is starting to realize he can rough one of his hearts. If he could rough his hearts, he could. Let's play a club. Oh, well, that was silly, wasn't it? 10, of course. Okay. Rough it good. And at some point or other, I'm going to rough a heart and set up my last heart trick. But sooner or later, I think I'm playing this very. I know it's going down. That's why I'm playing it so badly. I if I rough the heart good, I've got no way to come back to my hand. I could try the diamond, I suppose, but it's not really going to work out very well for me. I am going to go down here. I haven't even set up my heart, and uh, I imagine he's going to. Oh, he gives a rough. No, he won't give a. So yeah, okay. So I really am in trouble here. I'm going to actually go down even more. 6 of diamonds. If I rough that, and then I rough a heart, and then I have a do. So I've managed to go 2 down. I'm sure I could have done better if my mind was a bit more focused, but you get the idea that the important thing was for East to recognize that when the Ace of Hearts was played, if he kept the king, then he was going to be thrown in to give a trick away. I only watched one person play this, and I was a bit disappointed, really, because although I consider it with so many trumps fairly natural to cash a second round. Let me show you the hand again. Yes, there's a bug in this which doesn't allow you to load the same board twice. Export it to the table, over to the table. Okay, so this is a 4-spade contract. Anyway, pass, pass, pass. They got the club lead, the 7, to the king, and then we got spade switch as expected. And what I found disappointing was the person immediately started on his heart suit, but I thought it was fairly natural to at least try one round of trumps, even if you don't intend to actually cash 2. So if you don't cash a second round of trumps, it meant that when the Ace of Hearts was actually cashed, now I have yellow. Ah, there we go. When the ace is actually cashed, I don't know whether North thought about this or not, because East could still cash another round of spades, but he actually played another spade to the 10. And this time, of course, North had an exit card. And so there were no problems for North South. And the contract duly went down because North wasn't forced to give a trick away. But if you had cashed 2 rounds of trumps, you really would have to unblock that King of Hearts to let the contract in. Right, I'm reading the comments now. As you go to the table. Right, okay, no comment. If North has, then yeah. I think no comment so far on this hand. Everybody happy with it then? Okay, so this one for Sanya's thing, I can claim it is. Is it possible to win? Oh, good question. And I show double dummy. And it says, nope. I tried double dummy and it says I'm 1 down or 2 down at this point. Ace of Hearts, rough a heart. King, you mean king, I presume. And then heart. There you go. Ace of Hearts, rough a heart. What do you want now? Rough a club. Okay, rough club. So sorry, he'll throw. Okay, club 10. Rough club. There we go. And I'll probably follow the 9 to unblock. And there are nothing. Okay. Getting a bit short of entries, really. So perhaps it's a. Perhaps I was wrong to say maybe. Okay. Anyway, that's the story of the hand. I see now that no. I think two spades is probably right, rather. Okay, then everybody happy, and so we are going one down. So because Sanya always likes it when I claim, I shall claim one down on that version. Moving on to board number. Yes, I actually thought it would make a change to have some defensive hands. I have to tell you, defensive hands are very difficult to spot. Then again, I'm actually taking real life hands and saying, oh, that's a good hand to go and give people to try out. And the thing is that in the defense, not everybody has the same carding system. Not everybody thinks that they should go and switch to diamonds at trick two and so on and so on. So to actually find hands where I thought it was a straightforward play by the declarer, and then the defense have to go and do exactly the right thing. It's quite difficult to find hands like that. But I thought I found a set of four, and so I mixed them in with a set of four play hands to and actually I don't give chocolate bunnies. Mine are gold plated bunnies, blue. They're much more valuable than chocolate bunnies. But yeah, that's the idea of what we're doing here. Half of them, you should. And by the way, that's another thing. I tried to set this up so everybody plays two hands, even if they're actually, it's a hand for the defense. Everybody gets a defensive hand and everybody gets a play hand. And that's very hard to do as well. Trust me. I decided not to do it again. It's too much work. Moving on to Nord number three. Export to the table. Okay. And sort of everybody got this one right, except, well, everybody I saw, except everybody didn't get this one right. It's all rather sad. It's an easy sequence. South opens with a three diamond bid, and everybody thought they just really didn't have enough to actually do anything, and so they all passed. So the lead is, well, I'm certainly king of clubs. I've lost my hand now, but never mind. And we're going to follow to these. I don't know. I imagine it really, you give instructions to play three around the club. So it's possible he's unblocks his ace, who knows? And then the four. And that might convince West that his partner's over roughing the 10 of diamonds, maybe. And here we are at the first crucial moment for South. The point being that if he says, oh, I can rough in dummy and discard a loser from hand, so rough in dummy and discard a loser from hand, I actually have no loser to discard. Obviously, I've got two winning hearts, so it's rather pointless throwing a heart. But if I go and throw a spade, well, I haven't thrown a spade loser either. I'm going to lose the ace, and I was always going to win the second round because I got the king, queen of spades in dummy. So roughing in dummy, discarding from hand doesn't really gain a trick. It's unusual for rough and discards not to cost, but this is such a situation. And it actually costs negatively for declarer to rough because when he leaves the 10, well, if he plays the ace, he will lose two tricks eventually to the king and the nine because he's got to lead sooner or later. He's got to lose diamonds away from the jack. And of course, if he doesn't put the ace up but runs the 10, well, West is going to win the queen and there's he'd love it if he could just finesse, but he can't finesse. He's got no other diamond in the dummy to go and pick up the holding over here. But don't worry, everybody got this right. They all realize, every soul will realize that it is clearly a fundamental error to shorten your trumps in dummy when you've got nothing to go and throw away. So everybody went and threw away something useless, like the 6. and ruffed in with the 3. And now what you're going to do is take finesses. Now, this is where people who went wrong. You certainly don't want to go and play off ace and another diamond. At least you don't as a rule, because that actually is not so bad a chance as I thought, actually. The chance of a 2-2 break is 40%, almost exactly. Not quite, it's not a perfect 40%, but it's very, very close. And of course, the chance of a doubleton honor, a singleton honor in the 3-1 breaks is half of the 50% chance. So in fact, ace and another diamond is actually quite a reasonable chance. And now I look at it, it certainly works here. So anybody who tried that is going to find that they're very happy with life, because there is a singleton honor. And so now we knock out the king, and the jack of diamonds is going to be used to draw the last trump. The play I thought was that you probably should go and finesse twice against the diamond honors. So I was expecting people to go and cross to dummy, 3 to the king, 3 to dummy. And now when you're this sort of, normally you don't play the 10 because you want it for later use. But when you have so many cards, it's the other way around. You want to play the 10 to try and get a cover, which will increase your chances. Then you'll set up another finesse with the jack and the 8. So if you lead the 2, and that's what I saw somebody try, it was the 5, they played the jack. Say, really, they should have led the 10 here. Then they reached dummy again. Let's put it back in dummy to do it. When the 10 is led this time, East can simply cover now and set up a trick for his ace. So so definitely the wrong way to go and play them is to not utilize your 10 at all. So what should you have done? Well, you should use the 10 first time round, and now already East is looking at a worry. Should he play the king to try and promote his knight? If he does, he certainly makes it easy for you, because the queen drops on the other side. So the table I watched ran it, which I think is the right thing to do, right? And then when North reaches dummy again, let's put North back into dummy straight away to get on with it. Now you expect one of the honors to be wrong, one of the honors to be right, or both of them to be right. The chance of both honors wrong is only 24%. So taking a second finesse should now be the percentage thing to do. And so it proves to be in this instance. So that's the play I was expecting to see. But I didn't watch all the tables. If anybody played ace and another, well, that's not as good as 76%, which is taking 2 finesses, but it is quite good. I say 40% chances is 2-2, but then the 3-1 breaks to 50%, and then for a singleton honor, well, there's 4 cards missing, 2 of them are honors. You're going to get half of the 50% break, so it ends up with a 65% chance. So that would be reasonable as well. Very bad though not to effectively use your 10 by not running it the first time. Everybody happy with them, and well done everybody on not roughing in dummy, and commiserations to those who failed to use their 10 or 9. Okay, that's board number 3. Move on to board number 4. Yeah. Oh, so what are we in here? Let's see. 1 heart. And I wouldn't be vulnerable with that hand for sure. So that's 2 hearts. And 4 hearts. Okay. Right, so what's the lead? North to lead, I imagine it's the Queen of Spades. And it is the Queen of Spades. Okay. So Queen of Spades is, I presume, the prescribed lead. We play small. I'm not sure what you play here. One thing you should think is, should I overtake and go and switch to something? I don't know in these situations. The trouble with a holding like Jack 10 is you see the 9 in dummy, and if you go and switch to clubs, declarer might play small, and then the 9 will come into its own. And if you switch to the Jack, they may cover it, and then again the 9 may prove a useful card for the opponents. If those are all small cards, I certainly would be thinking of overtaking and switching to a club to try and get the lead through. Do I want to switch to diamonds? Well, that's ace 9. That's an even worse combination. So although I have the option to overtake, I would not normally be thinking of doing so. So I would probably just go and play the 10 to give an account of an even number. So now North has to decide what to do, and what he played in practice, and I don't think it's silly. If that's a count of even, almost certainly West has a singleton, but West play another one, and yeah, we get it roughed. Okay, so from West's point of view, he should be able to draw trumps. He is in trouble if not. And he's got the club finesse to fall back on at some point. And he also can go and play the diamonds. And if the diamond finesse works, it is going to bring that suit in. If the diamond finesse works, I could even lose the club finesse. That wouldn't be the end of the world. To play the diamond, if the diamond finesse works, I need worry whether the club finesse works. So first thing is to draw the trumps, I think, because I don't want to go playing the diamonds to and then endure a rough. I don't know where I want to be. I can play the diamonds from either side. I can play to the ace of diamonds and then back towards the jack. And I can lead the 9 and the 8 of diamonds in dummy. So I can get back there to take the club finesse as well. So I don't think it matters which way I do the hearts. Let's do this way. I think I need them to break or I'm really struggling in this contract. Okay, so if they don't break, I'll take the club finesse here. Okay, that's fine. So they're breaking, so I'm going to draw the last one, and I think play on the diamonds and then take the club finesse at the end. And this is the crucial moment for South, who went wrong in real life and went wrong when I gave this to somebody to try out to see if it was suitable for the Dare contest. The thing is, you have to go and make a discard at this point. And it's quite obvious that your diamonds are useless in the sense of taking a trick. So you could throw a diamond. It's quite obvious that the clubs might just be useful. You can see West has a 4-card diamond suit, but why can't West have a 4-card club suit and only 3 diamonds? And of course, you can also throw a spade, and you've got pretty near the top 2 spades with your ace and your 9. And the right thing to do is to go and throw a spade, because with West roughing them, it's fairly obvious that really they're not going to play any role in the subsequent play. But if you throw anything else, you might be setting up a trick by throwing a club, and you might be assisting declarer by throwing a diamond. And in fact, what I observed when I saw this hand, that both of the Souths who played this, both my trial person and the real person, thought, well, the diamonds are useless. I'll throw a diamond and tell partner I'm keeping the spades and I'm keeping the clubs. And while it is true that South is never actually going to take a trick, it did give Declarer the relevant clue that allowed Declarer to make the contract, because he played a diamond to the ace, and then he played a diamond back, and he asked himself, would South really throw away a diamond from 4 to the Queen 10, which is obviously a very useful holding, and came up with the conclusion that no, South wouldn't do that. So he rose with the king, and then the contract was made, and he can now take the club finesse for the over trick. But that doesn't work, of course. Jack of diamonds first, cross to the 9, and then you can play a small club towards the queen, hoping that that wins as well, and you end up with an over trick. I don't know when to claim here, because I've got a bit more to say. It was, let me go back a little bit. Undo. Right, okay, King of Hearts. Okay. Wait for all these yellow notices to disappear. Here we go then. This is the crucial moment. I watched Blue, not quite the same. There hadn't been a second spade, but same idea. Blue had to go and make and he worked out that he should indeed be keeping a diamond. And so he did throw a spade, and now, of course, there's no clue for West to. The only thing I would like to say is, if you know for sure what's going on in the diamond suit, the way to go and play the diamonds, and I don't think you should be trying to give count to your partner here. You should be trying to just be a neutral follower, but you don't have to be neutral when this card is played. If you're trying to really encourage Declarer to take a finesse, as I suspect you should be, possibly the best card here is the 10. It now very much looks as though you had 3 cards, the Queen, the 10, and the small one. And I think, you don't have to just follow. The 5 is also good, but the 10 is now almost irresistible. Surely you've got, was it the 2 you followed with the first time? The Queen, the 10, and the 2, and the Jack here is almost certainly going to be fatal to the Declarer, and then exit with a spade, and Declarer can get back to dummy to try the club finesse, but that is going to fail as well. So there is sad for Declarer, and Declarer was a good player, but Blue kept all the diamonds. He was giving no clue. So this is a defensive hand, and I'm going to claim. Well, at the moment I'm claiming 1 off on this line, so claiming 1 down. Is that all right, Sanya? Or did you want it claimed with the successful? We skipped board 3, did we? Do claim several times. Oh, I don't want to go. I'd have to reload it. If I claim, I'll go right back to the start. Is there not an advantage playing ace Glen low to the queen? I don't like. I can't see the advantage of the ace of clubs. You haven't roughed out the spades, Jack, so it's not as though you're doing an end play. And the chance that you could going to drop a singleton offside king of clubs, it happens in books. It just never happens in real life. So, and that's because the chance is so small. If you'd managed to rough out the spades and you still had a trump left, so there's a rough and discard, I would have said yes, playing off the ace and doing the clubs first is fine. But as things stand, no disadvantage. Hmm, um, I can't see any advantage or disadvantage. I think it just is a difference in timing. I can't see what you're getting out of it if you're not trying to manage an end play on North, and I don't see how you can be end playing them in the sense they can always exit on a spade. I don't mind you doing it, Jack. I don't see how it gains though either. So no advantage, no disadvantage. End of the day, it was meant to be a defensive hand. Is South going to throw away a useless diamond? You can be shortened. Yes, that would 1, 2, 3. You've used up one of your spades, and then there is a disadvantage if you try that and then and the king of clubs is wrong, and when you try the diamonds, you're going to go several down instead of one down. If you get on with the diamonds straight away, at least you'll be able to take most of your diamonds. I suspect doing the diamonds first is probably 2 down because it's wrong and they force you with the spade. Doing the clubs first, then you're probably going to get the diamonds wrong and lose 2 spades and you're going to go 3 down. So there is a minor disadvantage. At least you know, and you have to play the. You were always going to play. Oh, I see. If the king was right, is there a safety play? Oh my goodness, you're right, Jack. I'm not sure about ducking the ace. That seems, but but finessing the queen of clubs, and if it wins, there's actually a safety play where you cash the king of clubs and then lead and finesse the 9 of diamonds, and it's a safety play against North having 4 to the queen 10 XX. So if you actually had taken the club finesse, planning to fall back on the diamond safety play, I would have been okay. Yeah. Hmm. So I guess I should have done that first because of course for me it was a safe a defense hand. I didn't really think about whether there were better plays for East West when I added it to my list of hands. Sorry, but that would have been a clever thing to do. Okay, now didn't you say we skipped board 3? Um, do you mean Senya that I didn't save it? Is that what you mean, or that I didn't do it? Something called Senya. You didn't save it. Oh. Okay, well, I'll save it right at the end then, rather than bore everybody go and go over it again. Let's have a look at board 5. Yeah. Okay, export to the table. There we go. One spade, 3 spades. This is a sequence you never see in Eccles anymore, although I used to see it when I was younger. And that's because these days that will be a 1-note trump opener for Eccles. And so if you're opening 1 spade, it's either because you're distributional and then you bid onto game, or you have at least a 15 count and then you bid onto game. So it's almost a forcing sequence in Eccles, or it doesn't count as one. But in if you don't know, you're supposed to open 1-note trump. And I take it if you're playing 2 over 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Yes, it's a 13 count. So again, 1 spade. 3 spades or 1 spade, 2-note trump maybe is a sort of 2 over 1 style sequence, and you reach 3 spades. So what's the lead? It is the 8 of diamonds. Okay. Okay. So North is playing this, and I was very impressed. I'll tell you first of all what I thought would happen, which is that North would, in spite of the fact that the lead is the 8, would try to see if East had led away from the King of Diamonds, but he hadn't, or she hadn't. And now, don't forget, the hand that's on view is the South hand, and it's West who's on lead. So these sort of holdings are terrible to defend against in the majors. Yes, partner might have the King of Spades, it's a trick, and the Ace of Spades, but that's just one trick, and it's the trump suit. He's not going to have some sort of big stack on it. And the heart suit is the real frightener, because if partner's got the Queen of Hearts, it's finessable, and really there's probably no other sensible way for declarer to play the hand but to go and finesse your partner for the Queen. He can finesse twice by playing your partner for it, or declarer's got the Queen and was just going to play hearts and throw away all his other losers. So that makes the hand easy to analyze for West, because it means that you must attack the club suit, the weak suit in dummy, and you must do it now and take as many tricks as possible. And to set 3 spades, you've actually got to take 3 club tricks and hope partner's got the Ace of Hearts or the Ace of King of Spades to give you the setting trick. So how do you go and play the clubs? Well, I'll show you the wrong ways to go and play it. One is to go and lead 3 and say, especially, low from an honor, and declarer is unlikely to play high. That, unfortunately, the 10 in dummy forces out the king. And you can see now that declarer has got a trick in the club suit because of the Queen of Clubs. So that's wrong. You're not going to get loads of club tricks playing the 3. So what about if we try and lead the ace? Well, again, you can give declarer a guess, in fairness, by playing the 3. Did the ace show the ace king? Should he rise with the queen? But again, if he ducks it, your partner's king is going to be driven out, and once again, the queen is a winner. Nor can you play the jack to try and force the queen out, because the king allows the 10 to become the winner instead of the queen. So what is the right way to go and defend with this particular holding? And the answer is you have to do what's called a surround play. You have to go and lead a card that forces out East's honor. By the way, I should have discussed this. If partner's got the ace and the queen of clubs, you can do whatever you like. Sorry, the king and the queen of clubs, because with king, queen, ace, jack, you're going to take as many clubs as you can. So you have to assume that partner has got at least one of those honors, but try to play for North having another one. Now, it's no good placing the king of clubs in the North hand, because that's a certain winner. So what you're thinking in your mind is, how do I play this? So if North has an honor, the queen, how do I pick it up so that we manage to take as many club tricks as we can? And it's this surround play that matters. What you need to do is lead a card that forces out the honor in the North hand while leaving the 10 of clubs surrounded by a tennis position in your hand. So the only card that fulfills that description is the Jack of clubs. That leaves yourself with the ace 9 surrounding the 10, but forces, if North ducks it, you've just got the ace and the king left. So North will cover it, but you have surrounded the 10. So when the club comes back, you're managing to take all 3 club tricks. And so with the ace of spades, that's one down. And Sanya loves it. So what did I observe, which I hadn't thought of doing at all, at all? Well, let's put the board back up. I wish this bug wasn't. You're not allowed to load the same board twice. You have to load a different board first. Okay, export to the table. Okay, so this was a 3-spade contract. The 8 was led, and alas, I forgot to make a note of North's name, but they decided that the king was wrong because the 8 surely looks high and sort of showing a middle up down type sort of thing. So they went in with the ace and got on with the job of drawing trumps. And the point about this was it gave East a chance to go wrong, because East then thought, oh, he would never have done that unless he had the king of diamonds. So instead of putting in his partner with the king of diamonds to get the surround play, East then attacked the wheat suit himself, clubs, and of course that then allowed the contract to make in that fact. So well done, North, on working out that you get other options. It still shouldn't have worked in one sense. Another diamond to put partner in is what was really required. But I'm going to claim again because that person made the contract, just losing the diamond later on. But I thought a deserved success on the thing. Notice this combination. It is surprisingly common, these surround plays. You remember the principle is you've got to go and leave yourself with 2 cards that surround the card that is threatening you in dummy, but you have to go and lead a card high enough to drive out the card which is in the north hand. So the jack forcing out the queen and leaving yourself with the surrounding ace-9 about the 10. 3 spades, not 4. How's it better? 2 major issues. Yes, indeed. But it's indeed 3 spades. Okay. And yeah, salty. Jack of clubs is Sarah, isn't it? Jack of clubs is the right way to deal with a hand. So I because I can only watch so many tables. Did anybody find the surround play? It is a standard play if you've seen it before. Anybody who got it right can say now and be one of my gold-plated chocolate bunnies. Right. Okay. Moving on to hand number 6. Hand number 6. Brought to the table. I'm not sure how to do mute and a share, Sanya. Let me see. Mute. Okay. I think I muted myself. Yeah. Anybody who's not muted, please mute yourself, and then we won't get interrupting sounds. Unless you want to say something, then of course, please say whatever you'd like to say. Okay, I've downloaded this, and the sequence is 2 no trumps. Well, I suppose, and they seem to be playing a straightforward form of Blackwood. Oh, let me undo that. So 3 diamonds is artificial, denying any major. They're not playing puppet. And again, on all these hands, when I give them, the auctions are almost exactly the same as actually I observed at the table. I tend to just give the same auction. Okay, so the lead is the spades. And I'm not sure what ranges you're playing, Terry. The standard range for a tuner trump all my life was 20 to 22 for a tuner trump opener. I've then indeed, if you're playing 2021, you need to open with a 2 club and then mid tuner trump to show presumably 22 to 23. I have to tell you, I've experimented with all sorts of ranges myself. At one stage, I was persuaded by somebody to go and play 19 to 20 for the tuner trump opener. And I found this is an excellent way to lose at match points. I was the only person opening tuner trumps on the 19 and going one down, and everybody else was in one diamond, happily making an overtrip. So after a year of play, and I'd be told it's really good, Alan, because then when you jump to 3-no trumps, they know it's not on a 20 count. They know it's because you've got a 6-card minor when you go 1 club and then 3-no trumps. Only it's like theory, but actually it did work in practice. So then I tried there because I play Benjamin. So I have a plethora of ways of bidding 2-no trump. I can open 2-no trump, I can bid 2 clubs and then 2-no trump, and I can bid 2 diamonds, the other stronger, and then I bid 2-no trump. And I have played every range under the sun, and I have found no advantage in almost any variation. I've never ever had a, thank goodness I'm playing this particular range system because I would have missed it or I would have got too high. It just never seemed to matter. So after a bit, I just gave up caring. And when I talk of many years, I do mean many years trying different systems. So you would think, by the way, that a range of 20 to 22 is huge. It's especially because the 20 count range is more common than either the 21 or the 22 count. The probabilities are dropping off so sharply that if partner opens 2-no trumps in the range 20 to 22, he's probably got 20. Rather than either 21 or 22. And yet, for all that, it's made no difference to my life. I bid contracts that are making, and I have opened 2-no trumps and gone down with everybody else. It just, I don't know why, it just never seemed to matter. But that's where I am in life. I've still got a bit of, who knows, if you suggest a different version, I'll try playing that one. Onto this story. We are in 3-no trumps with an optimistic partner since 20 counties. I've got 22 though, so surely it's cold. I've got 4 diamonds. I've got a club for 5. I've got a heart for 6. I've got a spade for 7. Right. Okay. So all I need is, let me see, where can I get tricks from? The clubs of, there's no 4th club trick. Right. I need the club finesse right, and I need the diamond finesse, heart finesse right. Then I will have 2 additional tricks, and I will make the contract. So it's not very good. The chance that North has got one of them is 50%, and the chance that he has both of them is 25 to 24% to be accurate. So it's not a very good contract at all, but I'm nowhere else to go. This isn't a squeeze hand. For squeezes to work, you need all the tricks except one. and I'm very, very far from having all the tricks except one. So all I have to do is take two finesses, find the king of clubs in the north hand, find the king of hearts and I will be triumphant in spite of the fact that it's rather an anti-percentage thing. The problem is, though, that I don't have the entries to do it. If only the six and the five of diamonds were exchanged, I could play king of diamonds, queen of diamonds, overtake the jack, and then the six of diamonds would be overtake the five, give me a second entry. So where can I find a second entry from to take a second finesse? And I found this very hard to see. Um, but I'll show you how it's done. You want to go and, I don't know, I suppose you should technically duck the first round. Who knows? Maybe they'll switch to clubs. Yes, switch to clubs. Clubs? No. Okay. Okay. Well, win the second round for reasons we can clear in a moment, and start taking your diamond winners. And I'm taking the diamond winners not so much because I want them, but because I want to strip these suits for an end play. Okay, that's going well. They're broken. I needed that. Now a third one, because I don't know who's got the 10 of diamonds. So okay, what will he throw? Probably a heart. Oh, it's a bit unclear, isn't it, really? He won't throw a spade. That's a winner. He'll probably throw a heart, I think, and keep four clubs. Bit unclear. Okay, there we go. Now, here's the clever bit. Um, the spades that South could have, we've seen all but the jack and the 10. So South has got two spade winners, but he's got no diamonds left. I've drawn all the diamonds. Now, what I don't want to do is, let me just show you me going wrong here. If I go and say cross over like this, and throw that, and now I go and say, I don't know, say go and take a club finesse. Okay, there we go. It's worked, but now when I try my exit with a spade, I've allowed South to exit cheaply. Not just showing, you go there, he goes and wins a spade. And he's just going to exit on. Oh, he'd leave the jack of clubs, wouldn't he? And you can see I'm getting thrown in. If I play the ace of clubs and exit on a club, they're going to cash out in the club suit. Oh, not as I played it. Undo. Dear me. He would exit. Let's do this. He'd exit on the jack of clubs, and South would need to, North will need to unblock. So now, if he ducks it, he gets thrown in with a club, and if he wins it, he can't exit with a heart. But if he exits with a club, South is just going to cash another club trick, and so we claim one down at this stage because we're losing two tricks. So the wrong thing to do was to rush to go and take one of these club finesses. So let me bring the board up again. Oh dear. Load board 7. Load board 6. Right. Set table. Okay. Here we go. So the contract is 3 no trump by east. That leaves the king of spades, which we got. And we won. And then we strip the diamonds I described earlier. And now the clever thing is now we exit because all he's got is 2 spade winners. And after cashing those, club here, now South has to give me one of my two finesses. So if he goes and say leads the club, it doesn't matter whether North unblocks or not. He probably should. But even if he doesn't, I've got one of my finesses, and now I use my entry across to dummy. And now I go and take the heart finesse to make my contract. So that's the clever thing about leaving the last diamond as a late entry. Throw him in when you strip the diamonds. Let me claim all my tricks here. See the hand. Cash 3 rounds of diamonds, but leave yourself with the entry. Do not take a finesse yet, though, because then they can continue playing that suit and throw you in to go and lead the other one. Throw them in so they give you a finesse, and then when they've given you whichever suit they choose, now you use your diamond entry to take the finesse in the other suit. So I thought this was a very tricky hand. To see that you have to partially strip the diamonds and then exit in the suit that they have led and have tricks in is sort of counterintuitive, but very clever if you did actually see it. And it's a real hand, so I must have seen it somewhere. So
how many made it, Alan? Do we know?
No, I've been given no figures so far, Colin. The mistress of figures is there somewhere. I don't know if she can tell us. Might be looking it up, of course. Anyway, okay, well, that's that one. So I must say, some of these I find them because I see something's gone down in it, and I click on show me double dummy, and it says yes, you can make it. And then I look at it, and this is probably I'm not sure I'd have seen this myself, but it's possibly a hand I found by sort of, well, double dummy says I can make it. All made board 6. Wow. Okay, I'm very impressed. You all got this one right.
Did they get some help from the opposition?
No, Colin, you're such a misery.
I know. Well done to everybody that made
yeah,
it.
well done to everybody.
Made an overtrick.
It was one. God.
Yeah, well done.
An overtrick. Okay. Right.
Takes a +1. Yeah. What do we know, Alan? What do we know?
know. I should take lessons from these people. Upload the deal to the table. This is board 7. Okay, well, I'll follow the auction given, which is 1 diamond. Double. 3 diamonds. I wonder if that's pre. I presume that's meant to be a pre. Pass. 4 spades. I presume that's a splinter. And well, a bit optimistic. Giving you
Go for it.
Go for it. Right. Okay. Oops. Yes. I think. Right. So, what's the lead? It's
spades, I would expect, but
okay. So, well, the first trick is easy. And it's East now to make a crucial defensive play. Well, somehow or other leading the club looks wrong. So we can lead a spade, a heart, or a diamond. And you have to ask yourself, how is Declarer going to make this contract? If he has a doubleton club, I don't think it will disappear. My king of clubs, hard to see where something in dummy is going to be used to throw away the club. So the real worry is South has a singleton club, and is going to play ace of clubs, ruff of club, crossback, ruff of club, crossback, ruff of hands, set up the club suit in spite of the fact that I've got the king jack nine small over the club suit. Is there any hurry in the heart suit? Well, only if South is a lunatic. He opened the bidding and then accepted partners jumped for slam invitation with four spades. So the idea that he doesn't have the ace of hearts means he's opened on what, king, queen of diamonds to many, and thinks that's ample for a slam. So South really must have the ace of hearts. So there's no virtue in switching to the king of hearts in the sense that you just put South on lead. So it comes down to I can stop him making a second heart trick in my king queen. I've got to stop that club suit being set up. And the way it's going to be set up, I've already said, is ace of clubs rough, cross to the jack of diamonds rough, cross back to the there, cross back again. That might set it up if I leave him with the entries to do it. So if I lead the king of hearts, I have left him with the entries to play that line, ace of clubs, rough of club, and so on. That cannot be the right thing to do. If I go and play a spade, well, he's going to rough in dummy. That might work. That might take the end. But against that, see. Don't forget, West led the jack of spades, denying the queen. So it's all very well forcing the entry out by forcing a rough, but at the same time, I've given him an extra winner with the queen of spades. That's not a very good thing to do either. He can use that queen of spades to go and throw a heart away. So the only way I can try and kill the entries to dummy and keep my winning ace of spades and keep my winning king queen of clubs is to play a diamond. And it's a diamond which is the killer now. It doesn't really matter where
We set the clubs up, we can't get to them.
Indeed, there's just enough cards to set the clubs up. His only real line to play. So rough a club, the rough high to make sure there's no over rough. And at this point, you realize, oh no, Easter's still got. So, well, I'll just show you. There's one over here. Okay, so for a heart, another club, and they're still not set up. No more diamonds left, and throw a heart, I suppose. And now South sees that actually he can cross to the ace of diamonds. I suppose logical to do it this way now. Actually, throw the heart away, cross over there. But you can see he's actually run out of entries to. There we go. We set the suit up last. I knew I could, but of course, throwing the heart away from dummy has done nothing for me. I don't have the trumps to actually take care of it. So this was a defensive hand. Claim one down. It was a defensive hand in is there any sense in playing the king of hearts? No, South must have the ace of hearts. Should I be playing a spade? No, it'll just set up the queen of spades. What's the big threat? It is that they'll set up the club suit by roughing it out. How can I take away the entries? And it's that seven of diamonds taking out a crucial entry to dummy, which is the way to prevent the contract from making. Come on then, Stanya. How many people made it?
They might arrive at the right answer simply by elimination, by what you've just said. All the other suits.
All the others. Well,
gonna
yeah,
go-
I know. The King of Hearts is the one chosen at the table, I seem to remember. I mean, it said, well, I'll set up my Queen of Hearts. The logic is I'll set up my Queen of Hearts, and then when I get in, I'll cash either my spade, my heart, or my something or other. Unfortunately, they never got in.
No.
And Tanya's taking her time to let me know the answer. Oh, well,
Nice hand, Alan.
these are so old now. I don't know where I got them from. But
Well, you're the same as me. The hands I've been using recently have been sort of 1970s, I think.
right. Okay, moving on to the last one before we repeat board 3. So this is pass, 2 no trump, pass, 3 no trump. First. And I think Terry will like me on this one. It's only 21 this time. So Blue got the trump switch. Oh, well done. One table went -3. 6 times it gained 16. And they're up to date in the sense that everybody has 13 cards, Sanya, and they're all different. Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Right. What's the lead? What's wrong? It's Nick's, isn't it? Okay. He's catches 4 heart winners. Right. Oh, now this one I remember because I didn't have a hand to finish the set. This is the only hand I got from a magazine. All the others are actually real hands that I actually observed in play. But this one wasn't. I needed an 8th hand. Okay. It's 3 no trumps, and amazingly, he's kicked off with one of his top hearts. And saw no reason not going to play another. So, I don't know what to throw. I suppose the 2 of spades looks fairly obvious in the south end. There.
Throw from the north hand, isn't it?
It is indeed. We have 3 solid winners in spades, and we have 3 solid winners in the diamonds. So it looks as though we should throw away one of our club losers. But which one? Do I throw away the 2 of clubs or the jack of clubs? And apparently this was from a match between 2 teams, and one of the declarers tried throwing away the 2 of clubs. I think the next card was a natural club. And then declare a cross to the diamond. And took the club finesse. But sadly,
no entry back to south. Oh dear, what a shame.
Went down in the contract because there was no way to take the finesse again. So all very sad. So was that a gain to the other team? Well, yes and no. The other team saw that throwing the 2 of clubs would allow him to only take the finesse once. So realized that he could do much better by keeping the 10 for the 2 and throwing away the jack of clubs so that he could then stay in dummy with the 10 of clubs. So then play was very similar to last time. Cross over to dummy to go and take the finesse. And the only difference was that when the 10 was played, West decided to cover an honor with an honor. And now suddenly North discovered he'd thrown away his winning club. And so it was a flat board for the match. Neither team managed to make 3 no trumps.
Can't get the partners. I've said it all.
Well, there we go. So let's see if we can do better than both of them. It's slow this today. I'm not sure why. So 10. Oh, I think I overdid it. Right. So 10 of hearts, 2 of spades, Three of spades. Okay, so we discovered if we throw away the two of clubs, we're going to go down, and if we throw away the jack of clubs, we're going to go down. So actually, it's really strange. What you got to do is throw away one of your winners and keep losers in the club suit because you need this club finesse. In fact, the club finesse is likely. Well, no, I don't know. Tuna trump opener. I suppose
You
even
need
if it
it.
had the king, I need it to be right. Yes, card placing by assumption. I need the king of hearts, king of hearts to be the West Ham. So here we go. Spade is led. Yes, crossover to dummy, and this time when I lead the 10, I am less afeared about this covering business because if he does cover, you can see I can draw all the clubs with the Queen Jack and cash the two. So, of course, what's likely to happen now is that West probably won't cover the 10, but no problem because we stay in dummy to go and repeat the club finesse. And so, once again, I can bring the club suit in by playing the ace and now make the remaining tricks to make the contract. So I couldn't resist this hand when I saw it. The idea that you have to go and throw away a winning spade or a winning diamond to keep a losing club, in order that it was just far too attractive to not put it into a dare competition.